Hi everybody, it's me back with Law Hero, and now I'm moving on to criminal law, which is one you all love. I mean, we all love criminal law in our heart of hearts. It's one of the things that attracted us to the law. A lot of morality type questions and a lot of questions we can all relate to in our personal lives. So, I mean, traditionally, criminal law in the FE1 is well answered by people because of those reasons I just said, and the results are usually high, pass rate is usually high. So some of the reasons they quote for not passing the exam include only answering 4 questions, and I think the reason, well, I didn't really think of this before, but actually Shane Kilcommons points out that maybe it's because in undergrad people are only used to answering 4 questions in 3 hours, and that's what's throwing people. So yeah, I mean, if you can try and practice doing 5 questions in 3 hours, if you get a chance. I know it's not always feasible before the exam, but that would be a good idea. And also just be strict with yourself on timing. You know, that's a massive tip. It's an administrative one, but it's one people overlook. The next one he says is you need to know enough case law to back up your answer. And we saw this today previously in EU law where people didn't know enough case law. I always say the magic number is 3. 3 cases for a big point, and then if it's a small whatever exception, it could be 1 case. He wants you to identify the issues at the outset. So you say that this is a question on murder, sexual offences, and the defence of insanity. And then you put a heading like murder, Section 4 1964 Act. Then you go sexual offences under whatever Criminal Justice Sexual Offences Act, and then you go defence of insanity and what the case law is, or Mental Health Act 2006, go down through that. So that's how you actually do it, as in answer the question and then you apply the law to the facts, but separate out your areas of law that you're going to assess and have it very, very clear, so it's not all clunked in together in one. As I said, in EU law, they want you to separate out the different issues, because that's what you would do in a legal opinion, quite frankly. Highlight the buzzwords, highlight the legislation, and highlight the case law. In criminal law, you get 3 different types of questions. You get an essay, which means you look at a specific area of criminal law with a critical eye. You get a continuous problem question to see if you can pick out the issues in a big story where there's lots of things happening. You know, there could be a party, there could be different sexual offences, then somebody could be, I don't know, beaten but not dead, and you have to figure all of that out. And then you'll have some fragmented advice. Normally you're advising the DPP on, we'll say, the 2001 Theft and Fraud Act, normally offences against the property, but it could also be non-fatal offences against the person, like syringe attack, some harassment, Section 10, or you could also have just kind of non serious assault under the 97 Act. And the exam is like that because he wants it to be expansive and cover, a big part of the syllabus. He notes that when questions are very busy, like for example the one I gave the example of, like at the party and there's lots of different things happening, they do give you a bit of slack if you don't pick out everything, or if you only so the aim of the game is not to speak too much on one topic and not to leave one out completely, so you give enough time to all of them, but they then understand that you're under exam pressure, so they are nice markers is what I'm trying to say. And there'll always be a question on murder. You can guarantee that. I didn't want to go too much into criminal law because mostly the answers are set out in Dr. Kilcommons' exam reports. I'm not gonna go through all of that, but picking out the cases is the issue. Picking out the issues is the most important part of the exam, and remembering the case law around it. I found my notes cover everything very well, but the other thing you could do is list the relevant sections or print them and have them beside you when you're studying. So for example, you could make your own mini little statute book, and this is what I did. So I printed off the relevant sections of the 2001 Act, 97 Act, 2001 Act, and when I was studying it, I would, okay, so that's section 10, harassment, read section 10, okay, you know, like it gives you a little bit more of a legal perspective, a kind of more active approach, more legalistic, formalistic approach, and that definitely helped with my criminal law grade, because I was behaving as I did in my company law or EU law when I actually had a statute beside me. Just so happens you can't bring it into the exam. So yeah, there you have it. Again, this is one where I don't need to overstate it, because the exam report is pretty comprehensive, and we're all very thankful to him for that. I wish the other examiners would follow suit, but then we would have no variation between them all. That's just life. So yeah, best of luck in your criminal law exam. Stay tuned. The last one I'm going to do is constitutional, and then we're done for FE1. We'll probably be just looking into more like detailed stuff in the FE1, but if there's anything you'd like me to make a video on, please just email me at info@lawhero.eu, and please follow me on Instagram at lawheroirl. Thanks very much, and please like and subscribe if you want more.